It is Monday, January the 15th, 2024. I'm sharing my mum's journal. She has passed beyond the veil. In the summer of 1958, I felt a vibrating energy rising up my spine. It scared me tremendously. I didn't understand at all what was happening to me. This happened night after night when I was relaxing before I went to sleep. In that same time, I began to see visions, things that I would see soon thereafter in reality. This scared me even more. What on earth was happening to me? Only years later did I learn that when energy rises up our spine, then we are opening the chakras of the spiritual centers. It is a sign of spiritual growth. In 1958, when this occurred or started to happen to me, I had never heard of spiritual growth, much less of chakras and spiritual centers. Every time I was relaxing, mostly before I went to sleep, there again was that vibrating energy rising up my spine, and I would see visions like when on a TV screen in a full motion. This went on for years. The energy kept rising up higher, and finally, in October 2001, that energy had risen way up to my head some 42 years later. That I learned was to the pituitary and the highest spiritual center of the chakras. In dream, I had already passed the house with the 3 goats and the house with the 3 lambs, and then I had celebrated. Much after this, in a dream, I learned that the 3 goats were the lower spiritual centers, known as the Leiden, and that the 3 lambs were the higher spiritual centers, the sacred centers. Years later, in 2001, that energy had reached the highest center. After that, I never felt the energy rising up my spine again. Instead, I now felt as if I was constantly wearing a crown on my head. In dreams at one point, I had already 2 lambs and I wanted one more. Only the 3rd lamb was very expensive. It was not at all told how to attain the 3rd lamb. Yet for some reason, at one point, I had suddenly attained it. Now what? I asked. Will life change for me now? I searched through the books what the results of this would be. I discovered that when the energy rises up to the head, then we can rejuvenate our physical beings. The adrenals then release hormones directly into the bloodstream, and the cells are filled with these youth hormones and rejuvenate our physical being. I had never seen anyone accomplish this. In dreams, however, I had already been told that I could look much younger in the future. I rebelled against this. I didn't want to look younger. Instead, I wanted to grow old gracefully. I didn't need to worry. There was no sign of me looking younger at all. Then I discovered that I had to desire it and actually want these youth hormones to be released into my bloodstream and see and feel that happening. Why would I want to be young? I certainly didn't want to ever get sick again or to have such dreadful pains as I had in 1974 to 1976. Why couldn't I remain healthy even to the age of 100 without growing younger? I had been told that I could look 20 and still look 20 when I was 90. I didn't want to look 20 at age 90. That would be ridiculous. To be healthy at age 90 was my desire, certainly not to look 20. And asked for the energy to rise up my spine, and up to my head. It had just happened. If I could look 20 and be young and healthy at age 90, how long would I live? And I read that when the blue star is seen in the sky, then people can rejuvenate and look 50 at age 150.